In the tropical heartland of Guyana, where the winds of the Atlantic sweep across sugarcane fields and village cricket is more than pastime, his identity was born a boy who would one day become one of the most indomitable forces cricket had ever known. Shivnarine Shiv Chanderpaul, born on 16 August 1974 in Unity Village, wasn't marked out for greatness in the obvious way. He wasn't physically imposing. He didn't dominate bowling attacks with brute force. What he possessed, however, was far rarer: a relentless resolve, a hunger to endure, and a will that could not be broken. Shivnarine was born to Indo-Guyanese parents, Kamraj and Uma Chanderpaul, descendants of Indian indentured laborers who had crossed oceans in search of a better life. Cricket, in his household, wasn't a sport, it was a way of life. His father, Kamraj, a keen cricketer himself, quickly spotted the potential in his son. By the age of 8, Shiv was already playing in the village team, facing up to adults with an eerie composure and confidence. His childhood was not adorned with fancy academies or structured coaching. His training ground was a patch of earth in Unity Village, and his nets were imaginary. He batted for hours, facing whatever bowling his relatives could muster. His father tried enrolling him at the Everest Cricket Club in Georgetown, but young Shiv found no place there. So they turned to the Demerara Cricket Club, where his precocious talent earned him a spot in the U16 team when he was just 10 years old. His cricketing education advanced quickly at the Georgetown Cricket Club. In this raw, unfiltered environment, Chanderpaul's game began to take shape. His technique, unorthodox, even awkward, wasn't polished to please purists. It was honed to survive, to fight, to endure. And as he grew, so did the legends about him in local circles. Early domestic success. At 17, Chanderpaul made his first-class debut for Guyana in the 1991 to 1992 Red Stripe Cup. His introduction to professional cricket was mixed: a duck in the first innings, followed by a classy 90 in the second. That innings was a signal. The boy could bat. The following year, playing for the West Indies board presidency against Pakistan, he carved out a stoic 140 not out and even claimed 4 wickets, an all-round performance that announced him to the wider Caribbean cricketing fraternity. His first-class career soon exploded. In the 1995-96 season, he scored a breathtaking 303 against Jamaica, a marathon innings that would remain the highest score of his domestic career. Not merely an accumulator of runs, he was a survivor in an era of flashier batsmen. Chanderpaul's move to England in 2007 to play county cricket for Durham brought another chapter of success. He helped the club win the Friends Provident Trophy, top scoring in the final. It wasn't just the runs, it was the reliability. For the team, he was not just a batsman. He was an anchor, a glue, a constant. Breaking into international cricket. In 1993, at just 19, Chanderpaul made his Test debut for the West Indies against England. Much like his first-class debut, his arrival was measured rather than explosive. He scored 62 in his first innings, exhibiting composure beyond his years. Despite playing 4 tests and averaging 57.60, he couldn't notch a century. This trend continued painfully for the first 18 matches of his career. 13 50s, no hundreds. Critics questioned his ability to convert. Some even labeled him a hypochondriac due to recurring injuries. One lingering issue, a piece of floating bone in his foot, was finally addressed in 2000. After surgery, a new Shiv emerged. Rejuvenated, he converted starts into centuries, silenced the doubters, and found the consistency that would define him. In a series against India in 2002, he scored 3 centuries and batted over 1,500 minutes between dismissals. In the minds of Caribbean fans, Tiger had truly arrived. Chanderpaul's batting stance was as unusual as his journey. Chest on, facing the bowler like a baseball hitter, with his bat angled towards square leg. Traditionalists balked, pundits mocked, but bowlers suffered. His stance, developed to track fast bowlers with both eyes, became emblematic of his grit. When the ball was released, Shiv transformed, moving into a more conventional position to play his strokes. To many, he looked ugly at the crease. To his teammates, he was a fortress. His resilience came not only from talent, but from necessity. As the West Indies team declined in the 2000s, Chanderpaul grew into the role of savior. When others collapsed, he endured. He adapted his game from flamboyant aggression to monk-like concentration, shaping himself into the side's foundation, captaincy, and controversy. In 2005, amid turmoil between senior players and the West Indies Cricket Board over sponsorships, Chanderpaul was made captain. He responded with a 203 against South Africa, the highest debut score by a Test captain after Graham Dowling. But leadership didn't sit easily on his shoulders. The team won just 1 Test and 2 ODIs during his tenure. His quiet nature didn't translate into commanding authority. After just under a year, he stepped down, opting to focus on his batting. Critics were harsh. Some called his captaincy passive. But Chanderpaul had never claimed to be a general. He was a warrior. What followed was arguably the most dominant phase of Chanderpaul's career. In 2007, he scored 149, not out in an ODI against India. That same year, he was the top scorer in a Test series against England, amassing 446 runs in just 3 matches at an astonishing average nearing 150. He was named one of Wisden's Cricketers of the Year. By 2008, he was scaling new heights. Against Australia, he faced arguably the best bowling attack of the era and scored 442 runs in 6 innings. He was not dismissed from the first innings of the first Test until the last day of the third, a streak of over 1,000 minutes at the crease. He finished the series with 2 centuries and 3 50s. That year, he was crowned the ICC Cricketer of the Year, a vindication of his quiet genius. Even into his late 30s, Chanderpaul remained a reliable presence. In 2013, he equaled Don Bradman's tally of 29 Test centuries. By 2014, he had more unbeaten Test centuries than any other player. But time waits for no one. In 2015, age 41, his form finally faltered. The selectors moved on. There was no grand farewell, no standing ovation, no fanfare. He was dropped without ceremony. He announced his retirement in January 2016. Legacy in numbers and impact. Chanderpaul finished with 11,867 Test runs at an average of 51.37, 8th highest in history. In ODIs, he added over 8,700 runs. He scored 30 Test centuries and 77 in first-class cricket. At number 5, no one in the world scored more runs in Test history than Shivnarine Chanderpaul. But stats alone do not capture his essence. He was the bedrock of a fragile team, a constant in a fluctuating era. He never hogged the limelight. He just showed up, game after game, series after series, year after year. Retirement didn't sever his bond with cricket. He signed with Lancashire in England under the Kolpak system, where he remained productive even into his 40s. In 2022, he was appointed head coach of the USA women's national and U-19 teams. By November that year, he had been inducted into the ICC Hall of Fame, a rare honor and a long overdue one. And then came the unexpected pop culture nod. In a 2022 documentary, Jamaican rapper Sean Paul revealed that one of his iconic lines, long thought to be Sean DePaul, was actually Chanderpaul, a tribute to the cricketer he idolized. It was poetic. Shiv, the most selfless of stars, had quietly infiltrated music, fame, and culture. In Guyana, he is more than a legend. He was awarded the Cacique's Crown of Honor in 2009, one of the highest national honors. And while some celebrate flair, it is Shiv's discipline that endures. He was chosen as the most handsome man in Guyana by Guyana Malayali Samajam. Shivnarine Chanderpaul is married to Amy Chanderpaul. The couple has a son named Shivnarine Chanderpaul, who has followed in his father's footsteps and is now an international cricketer for the West Indies. Please subscribe for more cricket stories.